Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project Podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. All right, this is the first podcast recorded on the iPad. So obviously it's an Apple product. It's got the voice memos app. I'm laying on my floor. I've got my iPad propped up and I just don't want to stand up, sit at my desk, set up fuck all that. So here we are. Okay. So the frustration continues of just not having time to do shit. I consider more and more about hiring a VA just so I can buy back some time for cheap and also continue the vision that I have. And I want to say that it's very easy for me to design the systems and build the processes out, but then when it comes time to refining it and adding in all the details and all of this shit, it gets to be, I think it's when I think I just spend too much time in this part, because I can just make a huge database and make the automations and stuff because I can see in my head exactly how it'll work. It's just the limitation now is not what I can come up with. It's how fast I can actually build it with my fingers, with clicks and shit like that. Notion is not the greatest tool for building it, or I guess the greatest tool for, it's not, I don't know. I think it's made for people to use maybe on an intermediate level with tracking things, but designing an entire, I don't know, back-end system with everything incorporated, it's probably not what it's made for, if I had to guess. So when you start getting projects at a bigger scale, the amount of details that you have to tend to, and then also, I guess, just think about, I don't know, it becomes a lot. And I think it would be beneficial for me to have somebody build these databases, because I can think of how I'd want them designed and I can write that out. I could even, talk about it like this and then get the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and then have it summarize it and put it in a bullet list and blah, blah, blah. And just say, hey, today I need you to build this, tomorrow I need you to build this, things like that. And then rather than having them do anything that I've already built and having them integrate anything that they build with what I've built, truthfully, I think I'm just overthinking that whole thing, because if I hire them to do something and then, they don't understand or whatever, then I train them, and I don't want to train necessarily. I want someone to already know how to use Notion completely, but training them on my own thing, that's going to be something else. And reason why maybe I'm overthinking is because today, for example, there was an error with percentages in in the business tracker, expense tracker, because we have recurring and then one-off and then totals. And so in the recurring, there's however many expenses. And then in the one-offs, there's, however many. And then in the totals, it's categorized by, I guess the category of expense. So if it's softwares, if it is marketing, if it is employee, whatever the case may be. And obviously, if we're talking about one total, then the max you can have is 100%, because if it's the total number, then it's 100% of that number. So it's technically it'd be 0%, but whatever. And one of them was showing like 1,400%. The next one was showing 3%, and the totals were 350% or something like that. And I'm like, how the fuck did this even happen? And so I go in there to try to fix it. And I've got different roll-ups leading to different databases that have relations to different databases. And I built the shit, you know, and it was working fine. So I must have clicked the wrong calculation. I think it was this. I did math in a formula wrong, and so it made me think that I did the whole thing wrong. But the point of me telling this story is that when I went in to try to fix it, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it wasn't because it was poorly designed. I would say it was well designed, but I just had no idea what the fuck I was looking at and why things were the way they were. And I can't even imagine giving that to just some random Joe Schmo saying, here, you know, fix this. And so I think I'm overthinking that. But if that's what I hire them to do, then in a sense, that becomes their responsibility, you know, to an extent. So anyway, I wouldn't even call it a frustration. I think it's just like I'm just so tired of this shit now, because that's just what I need. I just need time. That's it. And I came across some people on that Philippines job website, and a lot of them seem like they would be who I'm looking for. There's actually a lot, but they all want a lot of money. And I think if I'm going to hire somebody, it's got to be for as little as I can afford right now, because I'm not in the best position financially to hire people, especially because I only have, I think, 3 more checks. Let's see. Let me think about this. 3. Yeah, 3. Because I only have 3 more paychecks with my full-time job. After that, I don't have that anymore. And that has been essentially pay off debt money, which has been cool. But just the thought of that disappearing, you know, gross income, it's like 54 or 5502, 5504. I think that's what it is. 5504, because I get 220.26. No, 2206. I don't know, dude. Doesn't even add up. But anyway, that's what the fuck was I just saying, bro? Unreal. I just saw fingerprints on my iPad and they seem to be like perfect squares. I was like, why is that? I think it's because I'm using it for notes and stuff. So I'm just tapping the same, whatever. So when that money goes away, I lose net income about $3,200 a month, which sucks. But between Dawson, Trey, Mina, and Brian at the moment, I am more than okay. But I think why I'm like, is because I'm mentally prepared to just not have Brian or Trey. I'm just mentally prepared to just not have that. And I don't want to, you know, speak that into existence necessarily, because it's a double-edged sword. I need more time, but I also need money. And in this phase of this early startup business shit, that is how I'm getting money, is trading my time. And lately, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 days, this week for sure, it seems like projects have aligned so that I'm able to work more on my own stuff, while also, you know, 3 for 1, working on Trey's and Mina's and Dawson. So I guess it's a 4 for 1. And that has been great. That's alleviated a lot of stress for sure. It's made me feel a lot better about everything. But I just need more time. You know, if I could just wake up and, you know, spend the first, you know, from 5 a.m. to maybe 1 just on my own shit, unbelievable. That would be so incredible. That would be so sick. And then, you know, hit the gym, because that seems like that just works for me. You know, around 12 to 1-ish, that's when the break is. So I go hit the gym and get some food, whatever, come home, continue working. That just seems to work well for me. So I don't know what will happen in the future, especially because I am moving in with Lexi in the next 4 weeks. So definitely want to make the schedule more conducive to a relationship with her, living in the same place. So, yeah, we'll see. And I just moved. I put the iPad on my air mattress, and I'm now sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce, facing the air mattress. So if the audio quality is nice, then yeah, get yourself an air mattress and put your phone or your iPad on top. Start talking. But anyway, yeah, if I could just work that, and then 3 to 6, the fuck, hiccups. All right, hold on. If I could just do that. I guess I'm yawning. Fuck, dude. I don't know why it made me think of this, but I found that video of me saying 2018 Mazda 6. Oh, and I was talking about how I really wanted a Mazda. Why am I hiccuping so quick? I was talking about how I wanted a Mazda before I had it. A 2018 Mazda 6. I got a 17. Dude, these hiccups. I'm about to just jump out the window. All good. I don't know why these hiccups or the yawn or whatever made me do fucking holy shit. I don't know why it made me think of it, but yeah, so I found the video and I can play it, but I'm not at my computer and I don't give a fuck that much right now. So I did also find another clip of my friend at the time saying, we were just talking about, so my ex's family, her dad bought her mom a brand new car, and the mom's reaction, I was expecting her to like bawl because this car was probably a $60,000 car. She didn't cry at all. She was just like, what the hell? This is crazy. And that was her reaction. And I was talking to him and I said, dude, that's just crazy that she didn't cry. You know what? I have it on my phone. I bet I could pull it up right now. And it's funny just because of what was said. But my friend at the time said, let me see if I can pull it up. Where's my albums at? Is it this one? Yep, this one.
Like a nice car. You know,
let me rewind.
If my dad bought me a car.
Well, hold on. So for context, we're just talking about how we would respond if somebody bought us a car. And I was like, dude, I'm definitely tearing up. And then so he says,
if my dad bought me a car, like a nice car, you know, he pulled up in a Tesla, like I wouldn't cry, but I would be like, holy shit, you know, like I would be like, what the fuck, you know, I would do something like that.
The reason why I share that is because he said Tesla, and I just remember back then, this was June 7th, 2021. It's probably sooner than that, but it's 4 years ago. We're talking about getting a Tesla. Now I own one. It's very cool. Anyway, what a long rabbit trail that we just went on there. Anyway, yeah, I just need more time. So segueing back to that, I just need more time. And here's the thing. So there's somebody I found, and they said that they want $352 an hour for 4 hours a day. $352. Okay, that's like $320 a month. That's that's a chunk of change for sure. But relative to what I'd be making and how much time that saves me, it's fucking awesome. Okay, so I'm exploring that. The thing is that I have to make an account on this website. I have to pay money to use it, which is fine. I get it. $70 a month to just have access to this roster of people in the Philippines who want to work. And I'm just trying to find who I think best, because they have it's almost like they have a little description of what they do. So you can type in Notion and a lot of stuff. Dude, I'm getting upset. You can type in Notion. Oh, yawning. you can type in Notion, and then anybody who has Notion mentioned in their in their descriptions or their titles or whatever, it'll pop up with that. There's a lot of people that have that, and a lot of people who they have that, but it's more like they specialize in something else. And maybe I just care too much, but if I hire somebody, I'd want to bring them on and have them do something that they're good at and something that they enjoy, so that it's just a win-win. There's a guy, and he is it's actually the guy that's $3.52 an hour. He says skilled recruiter and experienced Notion user. That's kind of like the title of his, I don't want to call it a resume, but that's kind of the title of what he's offering. But a lot of what's in his description is talking about how he recruited XYZ employees, and these employees did XYZ for the company, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, that's sick, but I wouldn't need that at all. I wouldn't need that one bit. I would just need you to build shit in Notion. But if that's not what he's good at, and if that's not what he wants to do, then I wouldn't want to bring him on. Either way, I should make an account, pay the $70 for 1 month, and then go from there. Bring on some talent. But I was just talking to Lexi, and in case you're a brand new listener, Lexi's my hot ass girlfriend. I love her so much. But I was talking to Lexi, and I said, yeah, I want to bring somebody on and have them help me. But if they were to start right now, I don't know what I would even have them do. And maybe that's part of the journey. Maybe that's part of the puzzle I gotta figure out. I don't know. And I think it'd be pretty quick for me to come up with what they could do, but I would just want to make sure that they're doing it the right way, and that I don't have to train them. I've said that already, but maybe that's also just part of the deal. You know, I can't expect somebody to know exactly what I want, how I want it, etc. But the perks of having this VA would be that he would help me with building my own stuff. But then small one-off things, he could definitely go in there and fix or whatever. But I think honestly, I would just have him build databases. It's a time-consuming thing. Well, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's time-consuming, but it is very monotonous, and trying to get everything the right way. I don't know. I really don't even know what I would have them do. I just know that I need more time, and then I can buy time if somebody wants to sell theirs. Because one thing that I will need is a metrics database for every single thing that I build, that will then be what Make automates and puts into those databases. So if I have an expense tracker, then every month I want it to put in how many expenses, what's the total cost, how many one-off expenses, what's the total cost, what's the average cost, how many categories did I have or was I using, what's the total amount of expenses, I don't know, average this, average that, maximum, whatever. That would then be put into a database that is all static data, and I need to put counts. So for example, if the expense has a tag of, I don't know, software, then I'd want to count the software subscriptions. And honestly, that whole, I don't think I can go down that rabbit hole, because it's about categories, and that is 100% up to the person using the Notion system, is that they would choose their own categories and make up their own names. And so if I go to all this work to make an automation and they go and change the name, then the whole thing's fucked, then it doesn't work. If they add more than what I have room for, then that doesn't work. I have to go in there. And it's just what a shitty episode. Yawning, hiccuping, you name it. What's next? A sneeze? Fuck. And so yeah, I think, I have no idea. Making those metric databases would help for sure, but like, that's easy. I know how to do it. I can do it quickly. I say quickly, but it still takes time. I don't know. It's frustrating because it's like I need more time, but I don't think that I could articulate well enough and trust someone else to build what's in my head, because what's in my head is just it's definitely complex for sure, and it needs to integrate with what I've already built. And somebody coming in, they're just not gonna know. Real quick, I'm gonna probably segue out of this. Kind of. Maybe I'll come back. Probably will come back. But fuck, dude. What do I get angry at? What do I throw my phone at? My throat? I punch my throat? Like, how do I get angry at this? Where the fuck is it? Like, let me see what it is so I can beat its ass, dude. Anyway, so today I was getting the Mina's team onto Notion. I gotta say, it's so frustrating because I sent a group chat message 2 days ago, yesterday and today, and only 3 people of, I think, 10 total teammates got the text and actually did anything with them. So we have 3 people that joined Slack and getting upset, dude. I had 3 people out of 10 that joined Slack and Notion. My goal today was to get everybody. My goal on Tuesday was to get everybody into Notion and then spend today answering questions, going over any kind of feedback they have for me, and just walking them through the step by step. That was the plan. And the team's not even on, and that's just so annoying. You know, I told Mina everything. He must have had a busy day because I didn't get a single text from him today, which is fine. But yeah. And then I can't remember if I started the show off with this or not, but Trey had a couple things not work, which is actually concerning because I have no idea why they didn't work. I don't know. And that's a problem for sure. I can't see. So what happens when they fill out the closer form, which is when they close a client, they fill out the info, and then that puts the client into every possible directory that they need to be in. It didn't work, and I don't know why. I think that somebody messed with the automations, because when I click the history and go back, at the time of them using the button, or the automation, it says that the automation there was something wrong with it. Now, they can still run if something's wrong with it, and it just won't do the thing that is the problem, but it did say that. Maybe it's just because I was on my phone. I don't know, but it did say that, so maybe there was something that happened. I don't know. Either way, I don't know how it happened. Sounds like I have a speech jammer on, dude. If you know, you know. So that's concerning. But to the reason why I even bring that up is because I would definitely have the VA handle that shit, right? But like, how could I expect him to know what things? I would just have to train and explain everything and how things work. I mean, I guess they could pick it up, but I don't know. I don't know, dude. I just feel like at this rate, it's just, the project is just not going to be done at all this year. Like, I don't want that to be the case. I'm about to get more angry, dude. So dumb. There's got to be a biological reason or some kind of self-defense mechanism or survival instinct or something that the creators of the world and human bodies decided to give us hiccups. There's got to be a damn good reason. And maybe if I understood what that damn good reason was, I'd feel better about this. Oh, man. What's crazy is we never know when our last hiccup's going to be. And in hindsight, we never knew when it was. So it's like, did they ever happen? We have no idea when they happened or when the last one was. But they know what we do know for a moment in time that they did happen. We just don't know how long or when the last one was or when even the first one was. This is called the Hiccup episode. Hell yeah, dude. Sweet. So anyway, the reason why I think it's going to take so much longer now, I don't know if you remember, but maybe 28 episodes ago, 29 episodes ago, I don't know, I talked about how I'm going to have this thing done by the end of the month. I'm going to reverse engineer it. I'm going to figure out how to do it, what I need to get done by when. Well, I did that, and I was doing really well for about 5 days maybe. And then that's when I started learning more, and I was like, holy shit, I could have this be the KPI. I should call myself the KPI king, or call the business KPI kings. I'll get canceled because it's not inclusive to women. Well, yeah, dude, 2025, let's fucking go. It's a joke, calm the fuck down. So, so the more I learn, the more I'm like, God damn, dude, I can't do this that quick, Especially because even yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, I learned how to format more things so it's more appealing, easier to look at, and a much better user experience, if you ask me. It's just, rather than a table with different rows and columns, they are boxes, and these boxes just display the data with text before it. So rather than a header that says, expenses, and then numbers below it, and then it just says expenses, colon, and then the amount. But the expenses is in a italic blue bold color, and I'm able to present that, and it just looks nice. I would much rather look at that as a user than the table. Now, I know not everybody is like that, so I included both. And I'm just trying to be very thorough because I want to hit every nail on the head that I can. There's just so many moving pieces to this shit, and I have to ensure that they're all taken care of. And I think maybe that's just the standard that I have because, for example, today we got somebody on Mina's team to join, and they filled out the closer form. And the thing is they didn't fill out the closer form, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. That's the only thing you're supposed to do. They went onto the actual table itself and entered everything, tabbed over, entered everything, tabbed over, entered everything, tabbed over. And that's absolutely not what you're supposed to do. That doesn't, it works, it puts in the data, but it doesn't work because it doesn't trigger automations at all. And so just the fact that this person did that, I was like, okay, obviously you had no way of knowing that you weren't supposed to do that, but I didn't make it clear that don't do that. Also, the fact that you clicked that first before the form, which is the bigger, more obvious thing, makes me question how I can make it even more obvious and more simple. Because if this person got on and then immediately started doing that instead of the form that is easier, it's more straightforward, it makes more sense, that's a problem. So what I did was I actually removed the table completely and just put one button on the page that says closer or new client form button or something like that. So the only thing that they could possibly see on the page is the button. They click that, they go to the form, they fill it out, and they're done. So things like that, I just have to think through. Fuck. So in the expense tracker, I thought I was pretty close to being done, but it turns out when I click on certain buttons and links to get more information, that information looks like shit. I don't know what I'm looking at. It's cluttered, and it's. I'm probably just going to be like, what is all this shit? I have no idea. And then kind of get turned off. And if I'm selling this high ticket and then recurring, I don't want that to be the experience for the user. And so I think I'm going back and forth with this whole thing of I want to get done as fast as possible. And then also what's the fucking rush? It's going to be an exceptional product when I'm done with it. And we'll go from there. So, I don't know. I think the rush is I feel this urgency to get it done sooner than later because I'm not responsible for Lexi's home or bills or anything like that. But I do take it upon myself that if I am doing this with her, I need to have my shit in order and be responsible for my side so that she can be responsible for her side. And there's no problems, there's no issues financially, and there's nothing that, in worst case scenario, let's let's just play it out. Worst case scenario, tomorrow I wake up, Mina, Trey, Dawson, and Brian, they say, hey, you're a piece of shit, you're fired. I would say, fuck. And I absolutely would take the next month and build as much as I could. And then I would figure out FedEx, and then I would just go back to working a job. And that would be it. And truthfully speaking, I miss FedEx. Every time I see a truck drive by, I'm like, God damn, dude, I wish I could just drive it one more time. And yeah. So worst case scenario, I just go get a job at FedEx. I'd go back to making about, I don't know, probably $50,000 a year. I think that'd probably be basic pay. My current job at Hill Air Force Base pays, I think, $68,000 a year, or 60 something. I don't know. Whatever 31.28 times 2,080 is. So, or is that what it is? I don't know. Makes sense in my brain, so it's got to be 2,080 hours. That's exactly what it is. Times, so 40 is 52. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's crazy, dude. I've said this before, but I do this shit in my head, and I get an answer, and internally I'm like, 100% that's the correct answer. Then I try to explain how I got the answer. It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I just clicked. It just works in my head. But anyway, so 3128 times 2,080, and then throw in some, I think that would be it, actually. I'm definitely going to get a raise. I would get a raise, actually, at the end of September, but I'm going to be off payroll at the end of September. So that kind of sucks. But I would actually get a raise and then a cost of living raise at the same time. So that would boost my pay up probably $2 or $3 an hour. So if you want to see what I would be making, it would be 30, you can probably just call it 34 even, times 2,080. Hey Siri, what is 2,080 times 34?
The answer is 70,720.
Okay, so 70 grand a year dropped down to 50 grand a year. That sucks, but it's doable. And the shitty thing is I probably wouldn't have any more time than I do now, because it just depends. So if I'm working, I'm not even trying to entertain this idea, but I am just explaining the thought process. This whole show is a documentation, and I just want to document it. So what goes through my mind is, if I worked, 8 to 4, left my house at 7:30, got home at 4:30, it's 9 hours work time. And that leaves me from, we'll just say, we got to subtract probably 2 hours for the gym. So that leaves me from 6:30-ish to, I probably wouldn't go to bed till midnight then, so I could maximize the time that I do have. And that's how much time. So I'd have 6 hours every night, which for a total of 42 hours a week. It wouldn't be that way all the time. I'm definitely going to make sure date night's there and stuff like that. But yeah, truthfully speaking, that is the worst case scenario, and that sucks. But the more that I play it out in my head, I know that absolutely won't happen. I know that I'll be with Mina for a while, and currently that's about, what is that? I'm trying to do that in my head. Currently with 19 hours, it's $570 a week. And so per month, that is $2,280. Yeah, $2,280 from just Mina. And so I'd only have to work FedEx part-time. As long as I've said this before, but as long as I keep Mina and Dawson, we're good. I think now, when I say that out loud, where the worry comes from, and again, I'm saying, let's just document. Also, see, my hiccups are gone. I didn't even know when the last one was. Just like that. But I just got to remind myself that Trey and Dawson, Mina and Dawson, that's all I need to survive. Anything more than that, that's great. Anything less than that, kind of shitty. But what goes through my head now is I don't want to have bad connections. I don't want to have anyone bad-mouthing my name, especially in such a tight-knit community. Now, I know you can't avoid that in the future, when things are just popping off. You're going to offend somebody, someone's not going to like your shit, whatever. But you know, for example, if I'm just like, hey, Trey, fuck off, or hey, Dawson, this is bullshit, or hey, Mina, this is ass, there goes, you know, 200 coaches, 200 clients in my niche that I probably won't get now because they all have a bad experience. There's a lot of people in the mastermind that will say, hey, you know, I need a video guy. Is so-and-so that such and such recommended a good fit? Someone will say, hey, bad experience, they blah, blah, blah. Like, I've heard so many bad things about AR funnel. And it's just not good, you know, because you fuck up once in front of one person who's in a tight-knit community. You just fucked up in front of 200 people. You just don't know it. And so I just don't want that to be the case. Now, obviously, I can say, hey, Trey, you know, I got to have more time for my stuff. You know, I'll absolutely still be part of the team, build whatever else you need. But I just got to keep on building this shit. I'll give you the full finished product when it's done. You just send me referrals. I don't know. I could do something like that. I told Britzy and PT Dom that I would be interesting in continuing after the negative amounts in pay and all that stuff for the CLA payments. I said I would be interested in continuing, but we didn't really talk much more about that. So, but I am having second thoughts just because it is the one. I'm doing work for them, but it is the one, you know, client of mine that just doesn't fit in with the rest. Because Trey, Mina, Dawson, they're all coaches. They're all doing the same thing. Brian is doing a much larger operation with different needs. And it is kind of how the check-in tracker was born, kind of, from doing stuff with him. But it's like the structure, the framework of the database. That is how it works. And anyway, so I guess I did learn stuff, but anything that I do build for him, it's just not reusable. They're just very different. You're tracking many different things that are not really what I'm trying to do. And I currently budget 20 hours a week for that. And whether or not that I do or do not stick to the 20 hours, if I go over or if I go under, it's still on my calendar, and so I just treat it as such. So getting 20 hours of space on the calendar back to working on my own shit, that would be insane. That would mean every Wednesday and every Sunday, that's all I work on all day long is my own shit. And if I go to my calendar, so every Sunday and every Wednesday would be my own shit. Every Friday night would be my own shit. Yeah. So it's kind of like Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. It's my own shit. And I just think that would be so great. So I do think I'm going to politely bow out, say, hey, you know, it's been great. Thank you. You know, I can't afford to do hourly work anymore. If you want to go the project-based route, then we can discuss that. But maybe I'll do that because I feel much better doing that. I just feel like when I'm hourly, I feel like I'm almost like I have to clock in and do something rather than a project is like, okay, I got to think about how I'm going to do this. I got to work on it. Now I'm incentivized to get it done as fast as possible because if I say it's going to take however much time and it's going to cost this much or whatever, I'm going to want to get it done as soon as possible so I can get more time back and then also still get the same payment. So I don't know. So, yeah, just brainstorming. That's where I'm at. One more thing, and then I'm going to end the show. So, also, at the time of this recording, it's 9:53 p.m., August 28th, 2025. And so Lexi and I are looking at townhomes, and we came across this one. It's definitely one that somebody bought and is now leasing out. So, it's probably some guy buys a lot of investment properties and then has these property management companies manage them for them. And that's who we are now talking to. But we found one. It's in a group of townhomes that you buy. And it's crazy because these townhomes are like, some are 600,000, some are 800,000. And they're nice as shit. They're so nice. But $800,000 for a townhome. That's crazy, for a townhome. You have neighbors on each side of your wall. I mean, they're nice as shit. Don't get me wrong. They are nice. And I would say where they are and what they look like and stuff, but I don't know how long we'll be over in this area, so don't want anybody knowing where we live. So anyway, you know what? We're going to live in Nephi. We're going to live in Nephi, Utah. So there you go. Good luck finding me. We're going to live in Camas, Utah, all right? Okay. Actually, Cane Beds, Utah. That's where we're going. Burl, actually. Anyway. So we're looking at these townhomes, and we really liked one of them. There's actually multiple. One we went into and we toured around and we got to see it. It was nice. But we're just like, it doesn't have this, doesn't have this. This unit has this, but the other one doesn't. The other one has that, but this one doesn't. I don't know. Like, it's fun. Well, we'll be okay. We'll use this one. And I don't think we're both really sold on it. But this one that just came up, we haven't toured it in person. We're going to go tomorrow and tour it. But I think it's got more of what we want, and I think we like the layout more. The only issue is that apparently it's a hot ticket item right now. Multiple people want it, and we're actually going to go tour it tomorrow, but there's people that are going to be there that are also going to tour it. At least that's what I was told. So I heard all of this and combined it with the fact that I like this a lot, and the application fee is, it's $55. That blows. But the worst thing that happens is we either say, actually, never mind, but we're like, we have dibs on it because we were first, or, maybe I don't get approved. So that way it's like, oh, maybe it was never meant to be anyway. It's fine. Either way, it's $50. It's not the end of the world, but there's so much good that can come out of just applying right now. So I actually went ahead and did that, and I just applied, got it out, got sent in the application, and I got an email the next day that was pretty much saying like, hey, like, you're good, we'll be in contact. And then I got a text today, and the text wasn't the most reassuring. It was just, hey, you were the first one to apply, which is kind of where, this pride comes from of like, hell yeah, if I didn't apply, we probably wouldn't get this. But because I did, now I have grounds for negotiation, and I'll explain. But they said, hey, you're first in line, you're approved, whatever. But a lot of people do have a lot of interest in this property, and the owner definitely wants to lease it out sooner, and they'll probably let someone come after you if they want to move in before you do, because we don't want to move in for another 4 weeks. The end of this, or I guess the end of September. And so, we got a full month ahead of us. And the person said, yeah, if somebody wants to move in, for example, September 1st, they'd probably want to go with them. And I was just completely understanding. I was like, I totally get it. It makes sense from an investment standpoint. It's very smart of the owner. Totally get it. My girlfriend and I, we love this thing. We are actually coming to tour it tomorrow. And so, we would love to work something out to where if we do love it, we'd love to be able to, maybe put down a non-refundable deposit just to kind of secure our spot. That way, if we do change our mind, you still get that money for the month. That way you're not out for having a full month of rent not be paid, because the longer you own a property and nobody's there, you're losing money. It's obviously how it works. And so the person said, yes, just let us know what you think after you see it. And that's what they said. So I take that as, yes, we're open to that. However, just let us know after you see it. So I think you could take a lot out of this experience, whether or not we get it or not. Based on what's happened so far, I think you could extract a lot of, I guess, damn, dude, success loves speed, huh? Because even if I didn't get it, it's like, well, I shot my shot. It's all good. Maybe it wasn't meant to be, but now I know for sure. It wouldn't have been like, oh man, I wonder what it have been like if we lived at this place, should have applied. Now it's going to be, we applied, we actually didn't want it, we went with this one, so we're good. And then any what if from there would be as a result of decisions rather than missed opportunities. So I think I'm better off with knowing that I made a decision and it didn't go well versus I missed an opportunity and then I glorify it in my head and then it's this big, grand, spectacular thing in my head, but in reality, maybe it was shittier. I don't know. So I am pretty pumped about that. I like knowing that we kind of have the power in this position over the other people, especially if it's a hot ticket item. I mean, also they could all just be saying this, you know, because today is October 27th. What? Today is October 28th? What the hell, dude? I thought... Weird. Today's October 20... Whoa. Today is August 28th. What the... Dude, every time that I fucked up the date, I always say October. Why is that? I could share some really shitty... share some really nerdy shit with numbers that I just discovered. I don't know how to... I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to talk about this house thing, and I'm going to come back to the number thing. I think it's funny. But, yeah, if they could be just saying this because it's October. See, dude, it's August 28th, 2025. They said if somebody wants to move in on September 1st, I just don't think the likelihood that somebody out there who won't have a home in 3 days still hasn't found a home. I just don't think that's likely. I think people are set. That's just what I think. I think people are smart for the most part if they're trying to find a house, especially if it's more expensive. And I just don't think somebody would swoop in and be like, yeah, we're going to move in on September 1st. I just don't think that would happen. Because it's so late. That's just what I think. So, anyway. So, yeah, there you go. That's what we got going on. So, I guess you could summarize this episode with hiccups. I need more time. Power moves with moving in. Townhome search. Now, here is an interesting pattern I discovered with numbers. This is where my brain is at a lot of the time. I'm not even saying this to be funny. Like, I just think about numbers. So, I heard somewhere that if you times 9 by any number, if you add up the numbers of that sum, it equals 9. So if I go 9 times 13, 117, that's 9. If I go 9 times 5, 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. If I go 9 times, I don't know, it's 18. We have 162, that's 9. Okay. I don't know how I figured this out, but if I go 9 times, like the first number that came to my mind was 101. So 9 times 101, that's 909. 9 plus 0 plus 9 is not 9, so therefore it doesn't work. So I was like, wait. So 9 plus 9 is 18. That's, there's got to be like a second level to this number pattern because it adds up to 18, which is 9 times 2. So maybe it's a second area of this pattern. Then I was like, oh, wait. If I go 9 times 1001, we have, or not 1001. If I go 9 times, what did I do earlier? I just typed in a random number like 568. That's 5112. Okay, that's also 9. But if I go 9 times 65,879, I guarantee you these numbers will add up to either 18 or 27. So 592911. So we have 5 and 9, that's 14, plus 2, 16, plus 9, 25, plus 1 is 27. It's 9 times 3. Okay, so 65,879. So if I go 9 times 13,990, that's 125,910. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 5, which is 8, plus 9 is 17, plus 1, that's 18. It's 9 times 2. It will never not equal something that 9 is not divisible by. And that makes sense, but it's always the same number. It's always a multiple of 9. Not like the number is multiple by 9. I fucking understand because 9 times whatever number is divisible by 9. I get that. But the numbers themselves equal what that number times 2 or 3 or 4. Like if I did 9 times, let's just do this. 9 times 1,234,560. that number equals 11111040. And it just turns out that that equals 9. So there's got to be different numbers and layers and patterns. As a matter of fact, I think it's after it's 5. No, is it after it's 6? 4995. It's got to be when the second number, the second digit in this, in the multiplier is a 5 or more. It's got to be what it is, because it's a tipping point between the half. So if I go 9 times 156, no, 9 times 166. Ooh, it's when the third number is a 6. Is that what it is? Because the second number is a 6. Let's just try this out. Let's go 9 times 952. So my prediction is this is 9. Okay, I was way off. So the pattern doesn't work. So 13, so 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8, 13, 19, 27. See, it always is a factor. That's weird. But the thing is it doesn't work with just 9. It works with 8, you know? So if I go 8 times 63, it's going to be something to do. No, that's wrong. So maybe that one doesn't work. I did it earlier, I swear. 1, 3, 4, 13, 5. It's almost like it's 1 less, which is interesting, or 1 more. No, I did it with 7s. That's what it was. So 7 times 658, 4606. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't it. Fuck, maybe it's only 9s. I thought I was onto something. But anyway, that works with 9s, and I think that's interesting. So there you go. That's a little inside look at my brain. 13, 7, 30. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think about numbers always. It's crazy. Like I got my credit card number memorized. I got my multiple, actually, driver's license, social security. I feel like everybody has that one. Former license plates, old phone numbers. I feel like those are common. I don't know. I don't say that as a flex. I just say that as in, like, you know, I'm really into the shit that I'm into. Like, I'm really into chess. I like Rubik's Cubes a lot. Played Yu-Gi-Oh! Younger. It's a strategy game. Yeah, I'm really into all this data and logistics and shit. You know, I really fuck with the, like, I wanted to code. I don't know. I just really like whatever you would say all of those have in common. Using my brain, thinking, whatever, deep thought, I don't know. The heavy stimulation of trying to figure something out, using my, I don't know, whatever you would call that, very into that. So anyway, lately I've been recording these shows and then I don't really do anything with them until the next day. I don't want that to be the new norm. If you know, you know. I don't want that to be the new norm, but it is much easier for me to do it that way. And I don't know if it's me being lazy, but it is just easier for me to record it and then just go to bed, grab the transcription, read about it, kind of remember what I talked about, and then upload it. You know, I don't like putting it off, but it is what it is. So, which makes my life a little bit easier. But anyway, I hope the audio wasn't bad. Again, I was my iPad on the ground, laying down, didn't get up once. Put it on the air mattress a little bit, but yeah. I can't be having these shows be this long anymore, dude. I really got to stop. I really do need to cut off, 10, 20 minutes tops. Also got my car fixed again today. I think it is fixed for good, so that's great. Feels like it goes faster. It's much smoother. It's much quieter. A Tesla quieter. It's crazy. Also got my custom license plates, so if you see it, you'll know. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.